things people love about you is you speak your mind and you don't use a politician's filter. However, that is not without its downsides, in particular when it comes to women. You've called women you don't like fat pigs, dogs, slobs, and disgusting animals. Your Twitter account...
Only Rosie O'Donnell.
No, it wasn't. Your Twitter account...
All right, folks, welcome to the Steve Malzberg Show on this day after. And the big news today is, what the heck did Fox News do to Donald Trump? Get this, 24 million people watched this debate, shattering all records. 8 million in the demo of 25 to 54. I think that's the demo. And the moderators, Megyn Kelly, Brett Baier, and Chris Wallace, spoke for 31.7% of the time. It was all about them to a great extent, especially Megyn Kelly. She thought it was her show and everybody else just happened to be there. Now, Donald Trump did well, I think mainly because he was picked on and abused. And watch Brett Baier.
Anyone on stage, and can I see hands, who is unwilling tonight to pledge your support to the eventual nominee of the Republican Party and pledge to not run an independent campaign against that person. Again, we're looking for you to raise your hand now. Raise your hand now if you won't make that pledge tonight. Mr. Trump.
All right, folks, we're going to talk much, much more about the Fox News coverage and who won the debate, who lost the debate. We'll get to both of those aspects of this whole thing with the one and only Dick Morris, who is coming your way. I mean, wow. Wow. You could have been watching MSNBC if you had your eyes closed and nobody told you it was Fox. Really, the way they were treated, those candidates, especially Trump. But Dick Morris joins us. Let's get one more taste of what I'm talking about from Megyn Kelly.
Mr. Trump, in 1999, you said you were, quote, very pro-choice, even supporting partial birth abortion. You favored an assault weapons ban as well. In 2004, you said in most cases you identified as a Democrat. Even in this campaign, your critics say you often sound more like a Democrat than a Republican, calling several of your opponents on this stage things like clowns and puppets. When did you actually become a Republican?
I don't think they like me very much.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, joining us now, as promised, Dick Morris, political strategist, Newsmax contributor, author of Power Grab, Obama's Dangerous Plan for a One-Party Nation. And Dick, welcome. I know you've written a piece for Newsmax saying that the debate winners were Trump, Cruz, Huckabee, and Christie. First, though, what's your reaction to the way the Fox moderators, led by Megyn Kelly, handled the questioning, especially of Donald Trump?
I think that they were trying to prove that Fox News is impartial, that it's not a conservative and Republican organ, and as such, they were putting their perception of the needs of the network and perhaps their individual pursuit of Pulitzer Prizes ahead of what the audience wanted, which was a fair, rational, and open discussion of the variations in the Republican points of view. It became a sort of gotcha event, and I thought that they handled it very poorly, and I think it reflects a trend in Fox News that's very disturbing.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I mean, I just think Megyn Kelly felt that it was all about her. It was her show, and they just happened to all be there, and I think she had it in for Donald Trump. Now, as far as the debate winners, let's start with Trump. I'm of the opinion that if they didn't pick on him the way they did, if Megyn didn't go after him the way she did, he would have kind of been an also-ran in that debate. Why do you think he was a winner?
Well, he would never be an also-ran. He's noisy enough not to be. I think that he was the winner because he showed that he could take all of the punches and he had good answers for him. Did he preside over the bankruptcy of some companies? Yeah, and made a lot of money for his company, his shareholders, and kept a lot of people in jobs. Did he take advantage of tax laws? Yeah, like everybody else did. I mean, his answers were convincing, and I thought none of them was... It's such contrast with Hillary, who when she's caught with an embarrassing situation lies her way through it, conceals it, and pretends to fudge what she's done. Donald just admitted it and said, hey, like it or leave it, this is me. I thought it was great.
Yeah, no, and no doubt about that. He responded to the attacks, I thought, very well. My only point was if he wasn't hit with these personal attack-type questions, I wonder if he would, if it were just based on policy, if he would have, fared as well or stuck out in everybody's mind. Let's move on.
Well, it's always easier to hit a home run off a fastball.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. All right, let's go to Cruz. I thought he did very well also.
Yeah. I think that we have to, I've always felt that this is a little bit like Wimbledon. You have quarterfinals and then a semi and then the final in November. And there's the mainstream Republican court in which it was Bush against Christie and Kasich. And then you have the conservative court, which was basically Walker and Rubio and Cruz and Huckabee and maybe Carson. I thought in the conservative court, Cruz really did great. I think his answers were aggressive, they were specific, they were very hard. He made the point that we keep winning elections and losing the peace. Well, like Uncle Sam, we always win a war but lose the peace conference. We elect these leaders and then they sell out. I thought that also Walker was badly hurt with that question about did you support amnesty for 8 years on the immigration issue. And he basically admitted that he had. And I do not think he can sustain his position as the conservative frontrunner with that fact out there. I thought Rubio was, as always, very polished, but I didn't think there was a bite to it. I thought we were watching a vice president, not a president.
And Bush, interestingly
Huckabee,
enough,
however,
well, before we get...
did a great job.
Yeah.
And I was saying Huckabee, I think, did a great job in secularizing his agenda and on Social Security, fair tax, and some other, and Wall Street connection. He really succeeded in punching out of that sort of evangelical ghetto in which the media has confined him.
No, I couldn't agree with you more.
So I think Huckabee and Cruz come out as the winners.
Yeah, and before we get to Christie, another winner, you mentioned Rubio along with Walker as losers, but you also put Jeb Bush in there, and to me, he was just a presence on the stage. There was nothing outstanding about anything he said or did.
Yeah. Well, that's why I think he lost. I think that that's a big part of it. When you're the front runner, except for Trump, you have to act like it, and he didn't. If you go back and look at the clips of the 2000 debate, George Bush did much better. I think the other point is that Bush is in competition with Christie. And going into the debate, Christie was an afterthought who made it in at the last minute by the skin of his teeth, and he had lost any real credibility. Coming out of that debate, Christie's strong, aggressive, feisty, and Bush is kind of lackluster. And I think that Bush went from having almost a first-round bye in that quarterfinal to having a match on his hand against Christie.
All right, one final question. Carly Fiorina, did you watch the preliminary, and what'd you think of her, and what's her future?
I think that she's I think that she's very good. I think the Republicans are looking, voters are looking for a woman to run against Hillary. The concern I've always had about her is that I don't want to be stuck having to explain all of the layoffs at her company in the same sense that we had to explain all the Bain Capital misfortunes that Romney encountered. When you run a candidate on their business record, you really subject yourself to a tremendous risk, because while politicians can hedge their political risks, the decisions you make in business that are good business decisions play horribly often with the public as a whole.
Absolutely, and you're absolutely right. She's already been raked over the coals in interviews for that. Hey, Dick, great to talk to you, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Steve.
Dick
Bye-bye.
Morris, ladies and gentlemen. Be sure to get your copy of Dick Morris's best-selling book, Power Grab, by visiting powergrab411.com. Up next, the panel, John Zogby and Mark Meckler. Don't go away.